So, son, why are you off to Thailand?
I am off to Thailand to seek fame and fortune in warmer climes. Uh, it's a nice climate there. It's 30 degrees every day. It's conducive for my ailments, my dodgy knees and joints. Escaping from the rat race. It's a very chilled out place over there. And yeah, I'd say having been there for nearly 3 months last year and then coming back to England and it's kind of -7. Yeah, it kind of makes more sense. England's actually quite cold, I find, and very rainy and cold. So
Climate.
the climate is one reason. The other reason would be financial. So the cost of living crisis is a kind of buzz expression at the moment. So everyone's worried about paying their gas bills and food bills, etc. But over there, it's actually incredibly cheap to live. So you can.
So, how much does your flat cost?
My apartment from renting is about 5,000. It's just gone up actually, but it was 5,000. It's now 5,500 baht, which per month, which is equivalent to probably about 130 quid here. So you can see that's pretty cheap. I mean, you can buy food on the street for a couple of quid for a meal. It's a lot cheaper. So the buck goes a lot further in Thailand than it does in England.
So,
at the moment, definitely.
So, what can you tell me about this girlfriend you got there?
Yes, I have a girlfriend. It's very nice, laid back, quiet,
Her name
attractive
is
girl.
Mon.
Her name is Mon.
Is that short for something?
Yeah, her name is actually Ananya, but they all have like sort of these pet names.
Yeah.
Which I suppose you can do here as well, but everybody has them there. They have a little shortened name.
You seem to spend a lot of time on the video chat with us.
So do.
So her English is good.
It's good. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of Westerners there, especially in Phuket, where I'm going. It's a touristy place. There's a lot of Australians, English, French, but all nationalities. Like English is the sort of go-to language that everybody speaks, which is probably true of anywhere, really. But people tend to communicate in English. It seems to be the universal language. So, yeah, her English is not bad. It's all right. So you can have a decent conversation with her.
And the plan is to open a bar?
Yeah, I think so. Just to generate...
Or to buy an existing bar?
Buy an existing bar, just to generate a bit of income, which, I mean, as we've already discussed, you don't need that much to live there. So if I can make a little bit of money, you're going to cover your costs.
Yeah.
For living there.
So in this bar, you see here, you would ask to see the books, see what kind of income it generates. Have you gone through that process yet, or will do?
Yeah, you can do. I mean, I've got to sort all that out when I go over there, but it's... Yeah, they're all a bit... There are a lot of bars over there, but I mean, you have to really be working with Thai people who are in the know. I wouldn't like to just do it on my own.
Yeah.
You have to work with somebody who knows what they're doing. So.
Yeah, you think Mon knows what she's doing?
Yeah, she's done it for about 8 or 9 years. Yeah, running bars and stuff. So yeah, she knows. She knows the ins and outs of it.
And yet you feel that the tourist trade has picked up after the pandemic?
It was quiet when I was... it was dead. I mean, COVID was completely dead. I mean, Thailand was not allowing anybody to enter its borders. So it went from dead, or very busy before, to dead, completely dead. It's now reopened last year. It was quiet-ish when I went. I went last September, October. From about August, September, October. It was quieter. It was picking up a bit, but now it's got very busy. Yeah, I mean, if you look on YouTube, and obviously I've talked to my girlfriend who's over there. Now it's very busy. It's probably busier, they reckon, than it was pre-COVID. Everyone's kind of flooded over there, so it's a good time to get a business going. I mean, I would have liked to have done it before Christmas and New Year, ideally, but that didn't happen. So, yeah.
So, give us some of, well, just the highlights of your childhood, some key memories. I think you've got a couple from the house in Wootton Road, Wolverhampton.
Yeah, I remember that house. I can actually remember the house before that. The cottage next to my grandmother's.
Yeah.
I do remember that, but that's obviously a long...
Bit of a stretch.
Going back a long time, but I have little picture memories of that. But yeah, the Wootton Road house. I can remember sort of running around with my sister. I remember you putting me to bed I had the small room at the top of the stairs on the first door on the right, I think it was. Yeah. And you'd tell me bedtime stories and do little games and things. I had a Humpty Dumpty toy, and you'd put him on top of the door and do the Humpty Dumpty nursery rhyme, and then he'd fall down. And I remember just being in hysterics, and you had to do it over and over and over again until you got fed up probably and said, okay, time for bed. So I can remember that. I remember, I think it was a fairly large garden.
Yes, it was quite big.
And you built a tree house.
That's right.
There was a big tree at the bottom of the garden. You built probably quite a decent tree house, which me and my sister used to sort of climb up. It was quite. It seemed to me quite high up. But I mean, it was an engineering achievement probably in itself. And I had a friend who came round who fell out of the treehouse and tumbled down to the ground and had to go to hospital or something.
Oh, I didn't realise he had to go to hospital.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean he was okay. He wasn't. I don't think he broke any bones or anything. Yeah, he had a bit of a tumble out. I mean, I remember it as being quite high up, but I was only sort of 2 or something. So it seemed...
a bit older than that.
2 or 3, but... I mean, if I went back now, it probably wouldn't seem so high, because I'm an adult, but... I think it was probably high for the kid that fell out of the tree.
Oh, well, didn't pass health and safety.
No, not by today's.
So you have this memory of going up to North Wales to visit my older sister.
Yeah, I remember going to Criccieth, to the hotel. I remember the hotel and watching with
Carol's
her
children.
kids, Christopher and Rachel and Ruth. We watched The Wizard of Oz. Remember that? The first time I'd seen it, I think. I mean, I must have been pretty young at that stage.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how old, but not a toddler, but I mean...
Yeah. And then you went up to the castle with...
yeah, I mean, I don't know how many times you went, but I remember we might have gone on another occasion, maybe it might have been slightly older, but I remember going with Redmond and Christopher, and he said, we'll go to the castle. So I was thinking, how are we going to pay, to get in, to walk around this castle? Christopher took us up round the back of the castle. We had to shin up the wall and climb in over the kind of broken wall and got into the castle for free.
Yeah, he had inside knowledge.
Inside knowledge, I suppose, yeah. I don't know if he remembers that. But
local knowledge.
Yeah. Be interesting to see if Redmond remembers that.
Yeah. Well, I can remember... one of my memories of you was you used to run off at times. I remember we were walking along the street and suddenly you ran into somebody's... The front door was open. You ran into somebody's house and we were stuck there thinking, where's he disappeared to? Quite an embarrassment. excuse me, our son has just gone up your stairs somewhere. Can we have him back? A bit like
I
that.
don't remember that.
And you said something similar happened with Trevor, or in reverse.
Yeah, I don't know if I was being a bit naughty or playing Trevor.
Your Uncle Trevor.
Yeah, they'd come round. My cousins had come round with Auntie Tar, Uncle Trevor, and we were going off somewhere in his car. So I was sort of came out. I don't know if I must have been being naughty. I remember being stood on the side of the road, and Trevor saying, "We're going to leave you. We're going to leave you." And I thought, well, he's not going to leave me. And then he drove off, disappeared, and I was stood there for what seemed like quite a long time. Just think, have they gone? Well, where? And then 2 minutes later, he came, drove back, and then he went off again, and drove back and came back. But they did pick me up. So yeah, I remember that quite clearly.
So it was to teach you a lesson.
I guess so. I mean, I remember him laughing. He thought it was quite funny, but I don't think I found it as funny.
And an unfortunate memory, he said you had the cane and the pump at school for a couple of times.
Yeah, at school at Tettenhall College. Yeah, I mean, I can't remember the hows and whys. I remember. I think maybe I broke a window, it was done accidentally because it was kind of down one of the corridors. It was kind of sort of knee high, and I managed to somehow crack it with my little school briefcase. Yeah, but I think I might have got the cane for that because it shattered the glass and sort of shattered down on the people below. It was an accident, but in those days. You could end up being caned.
Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't do that now, but
yeah.
I could probably sue the school.
So I remember one of my memories was your mum and I went to Egypt for 2 weeks, and we left you with my parents in Blackheath. We went off a little bit with trepidation, thinking how you were going to survive and you'd miss us and everything. And then the day we got back, we sort of walked into the house and you were being fed by your grandmother. And we looked at you thinking oh, I've missed you, oh, please. And you didn't take any notice of us. Thought it was quite a disappointment. You just carried on with your meal and more or less ignored us as we came in. But you have fond memories of your grandmother, don't you?
Yeah, I remember you coming back. Yeah, but I mean,
you look like her. Your grandmother.
I probably do a bit. Yeah, but yeah, I remember Ginger Grandma, as we used to call her. Yeah, fond memories of that. Yeah, I actually remember staying there, and I remember you coming back, and my mum sort of saying, "Come on," and she thought I was going to run to her, and I was quite happy just to stay with my grandma. To be honest with you, I got on with her quite well. I think.
So, like, especially granddad kind of thing.
Oh, Viva Victory.
You can get